All right, so marriage, just like you see in the title, why I think marriage is terrible for men these days. And I kind of struggle with this a bit, especially recently. Like last year, I had very different views, but I'm gonna be honest. Lately, I've been kind of getting back into my faith, like Christian views, and obviously, marriage is a huge thing in Christianity, and especially like having sex before marriage and all that stuff. Which this is this is why it's kind of tough for me because just lust in general. Then obviously having sex before marriage because as of right now, it's like I don't want to get married, but I do want to have a girl that I settle down with and have kids and everything. So it's kind of like it doesn't really make sense. But the reason why I kind of struggle with it is because marriage these days, especially, it's very very risky for men, and I know a lot of you guys can agree with this. And I have a short on my YouTube page where I kind of like pretty much talk about it. I played like a clip from the Whatever podcast, which on Whatever they talk about it a lot. So if you're a fan of that podcast, you already know Brian's point of view. Even Andrew Wilson, who is a Orthodox Christian, but he could at least like see the side from a secularist point of view, right? Because the man is usually the breadwinner, and if he gets married and she divorces him, she's gonna take half his stuff. And if they have kids, we all know that the court system favors the women, so she's most likely gonna get full, well, maybe not full custody, but she's gonna get the custody of the kids. And it's just not a good deal because when you look at the stats, it's like, okay, like what, like 70 to 80% of marriages are initiated by the woman, and just 50%, I think it is in general, marriages end in divorce. Now there's different things, like I think when it comes to like race and like religion and everything like that kind of play a factor and will like make those numbers go down a lot. But like I'm just talking about in general right now, and it's not a good look, I'm gonna be honest. Because if you work your whole life and you build up a great career and you have a lot of money, get married, have kids, you're just super happy. And just to think that like that, all that could just change drastically for you. And it's just rough, man. And people will be like, well, just sign a prenup, duh, and then you'll be good. And well, the thing with that is that doesn't guarantee your safety like 100%, because now I don't know, like I'm not like super well informed when it comes to prenups, but I know that if the woman, if she really wants to, she could challenge that and like come up with some kind of reason or excuse as to why the prenup is kind of invalid and why she should still get something for it. And courts favor women just in general. So she's most likely going to get your kids. The prenup might be thrown out. She'll take half your shit. She'll probably get the home if you guys have a house. And you're going to be left with not having the full custody of your kids. Well, you just lost your wife. And now you're on your own. And then it's going to probably like kind of just be in your mind like, man, would I even want to get married again if I find someone else? That's why I'm like, I'd rather so I find a girl, right? And, we build a relationship, we settle down together, move in together, have kids together. It's basically everything you're going to have like people do when they're in a marriage. The only thing is what? You don't get like the tax write-off or whatever. And you guys aren't like married, like as in like, you'll see it like on like papers and all that stuff. It's just like, dude, everything that you get in the marriage, you basically get if you guys were just, I don't really like using this term because it's kind of weird. It's like lifelong partners, I guess. Because you don't need a marriage to have kids. You don't need marriage to live together. You don't even need marriage to change a name. She could still change her last name to yours, dude. And your kids are still gonna have your own last name. So it's like, and people will be like, well, because you guys aren't going to be committed. It's like, what? You could be committed. And I think it's kind of a dumb excuse if it's like, it's because it's almost coming from the angle is like, you should get married just so it makes it harder for you guys to break up. Because, dude, if she wants that divorce, she's getting that divorce. Like, obviously, you're going to talk about it, whether you're married or not, and try to work it out. Unless something terrible happens, then I get it. But most people are going to talk through things, and a lot of times it will work out. And if it doesn't, then the couple will break up. And if it doesn't, there will be for a married couple, you guys are gonna go through a divorce, and it's a fucking annoying process. You're gonna lose a lot of stuff, and it's just the worst outcome, dude. Like, and it's like I would love nothing more than for me to, meet the, I don't want to say perfect, because I mean there's no such thing as perfect, but for this example, the perfect girl. I get married with her. We're in love. We settle down. We have kids. We're just a big happy family. We have a nice house. And we live happily ever after. But this ain't no fairy tale, man. Like, you can't just be going into situations like that. You have to be extremely realistic and be aware of these risks. Especially like if you're young and you're kind of naive. Because, I mean, I'm 23. I'm still very young. But there's people who are like a couple years older that they don't even really know this stuff, man. And yeah, I'm just like, dude, you don't need to be married to have a lifelong commitment and have kids, have your own home, build a family, be happy for the rest of your life. An example is, I mean, my parents, my parents are married now, but they weren't married for like when they had me, they weren't married, and they didn't get married until I was, I think, 9 years old. Yeah, 9 years old. So it's like 9 years of me just being born, and then the couple years before that of them just dating. So that's probably like what? Like 11 years of no marriage. And it worked out just fine. And my brother was born 3 years after me, my little brother. They had 2 kids without being married, lived together. Everything was perfectly fine. And then they decided to get married, and they're still together to this day. And I have a little sister now. So it's like, it just all works out. It's gonna work out, because I guarantee you, and maybe some of you guys are gonna be like, nah, that's cope, Michael. I guarantee you, if they never did get married, it would have been the exact same thing. Now, I believe they got married because I was raised Catholic, and I still, like I said, I'm coming back into my faith, but I think that's the main reason. It's like, okay, like, we're Catholics, we really should be married, because yeah, it's a sin to have premarital sex, and obviously just to not be married and already have kids like that, like wedlock. But it's something I struggle with, man, because I have been coming back into my faith. I've been reading the Bible, just watching a lot of like Christian-based videos, and I believe in a lot of it, and I do believe God is real, and I do believe in God. But like I said, I struggle with this thing, man, and it's like, if I'm gonna do it, it's gotta be, I'm gonna find myself a Christian woman, and I'm gonna know her very, very well. I'm gonna vet her a lot, because I'm not going into this blindly. Because there's some people that they date a girl like 1 year, 2 years, and they get married, and a lot of people do get married like at the 2 or 3 year mark. Honestly, for me, that's just too early. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm probably, at the earliest would be like 4 years for me. But I don't know, unless she's just so special and I know her like extremely well, and it's like deep down, I just know that she's not gonna do that. But then at the end of the day, you don't know that for sure. And everyone says till death do us part. And what happens a lot of these times, man, 50% end in divorce. And most of them, more than 50%, are initiated by the woman. You got to be careful. So yeah, this is something I struggle with. We'll see if I eventually get married. Honestly, I think I will, if I'm being completely honest. But I don't know. I really don't know, dude. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.